Hi everybody. It's good to see you. I hope yous are well. Won't you sit with me a spell while we sit and talk about the Ozark Mountain bald knobbers? The Ozark Mountain bald knobbers were a group of vigilantes from the Ozark Mountains from 1865 to 1899. They were often seen in black horned hoods with white outlined faces drawn on. The group sided with the Union during the Civil War. They protected lives and property and assisted in catching wanted people. They also couldn't stand for corrupt government. In Missouri, bushwhacker fighting took its toll. The James Younger Gang was the biggest part of that vicious time period. Even after the war ended, constant fighting continued. Over 40 murders over the next 20 years wouldn't be solved. The bald knobbers began to put a stop to it until they themselves joined the criminal activities. There were two chapters, the Tansy County and the Christian County. In 1883, 13 men formed a group to fight against the mass attacks that had plagued the area. Just after the Civil War, the group got their name because they met upon a bald mountain top so they could watch for spies. Originally, they drove out hundreds of outlaws, but as more and more joined their ranks, they would lose focus, and the public began to turn away from them. In 1886, Governor Marmaduke sent General Jameson to investigate the situation, and he determined that the bald knobbers did keep order, but no longer kept the needs of the people. So the next day, they were publicly disbanded. The Christian County chapter were way worse than the previous chapter. They disregarded all rules set forth by the first chapter. At first, the chapter was created to keep moral standing of the town of Chadwick. Being a railroad town, it flourished, which also meant saloons, brothels, and gambling halls were also popular. The Christian County chapter invited the leader of the recently disbanded chapter to help them create this one, but it was told that he didn't. The Christian County group met in a large cave on the group leader's named Walker's land. One of the young opponents criticized the group. He received several warnings, including beatings. March 11, 1887, the group met in the cave to discuss disbanding, but that night instead they inducted new younger members. The new younger members were enraged at the comments the man made, so after the meeting, they took the long way home, passing right by his cabin. The leader begged them not to do anything crazy. When they got to his cabin, he was not home. They proceeded to Eden's parents' home. Eden and his sick wife were staying the night. The bald knobbers busted in, shooting, killing Eden and another man, and Eden's father was wounded by an axe blow to the head. The women and children cried out in fear, which alerted neighbors of the massacre. 80 men were captured and tried for their heinous acts, but only 4 would hang. The leader, even though he tried to stop the act, didn't succeed. His presence convicted him along with the 3 men that killed the man. One of the men to be hung escaped, but the other awaited May 10th. May 10th, 1889, the men were led to the makeshift gallows. The men stood there, and the trap was sprung. The sheriff carried out his duties, even though he had no experience. So all the men's rope were too long, and their feet dragged the ground. One's rope broke. It was retied, and after 30 minutes, the sentence was carried out. A state bounty hunter was brought in to capture the escaped man. And July 4th, 1889, he was tracked to a picnic in Kirbyville. A gunfight ensued between the Baldnobbers, the supporters, the anti-Baldnobber supporters, the lawmen, and the fourth victim. The lawmen were shot dead, and the fourth man escaped. Only a short time later, he would be shot and killed by Pinkerton's great detective agency. Anti-Baldnobbers didn't like the fact that the leader of the first chapter was in their town running a general store. So August 1888, one of the men went to the store where the man was counting his inventory and shot him 3 times, killing him dead. He gave himself up immediately, and in a twist of fate was exonerated from all charges. So folks, what do you think about the Baldnobbers? They were started with good intent to protect the citizens of Missouri's homes from the home guard of the Confederates that were burning and stealing and pillaging and killing and murdering. But in the end, corruption made them turn. And that ended the Baldnobbers. Well, folks, I want to thank you for sitting and listening to me tell about these old Baldnobbers and sharing the history with her. We appreciate you listening. We love you to pieces, and we'll see you next time.